Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com. You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com. You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com. You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com. You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com. You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com. You are listening to Causerie 7 Radio, 90.1 FM, Causerie7radio.com. You are listening to Causerie 7 Radio, 90.1 FM, Causerie7radio.com. You are listening to Causerie 7 Radio, 90.1 FM, Causerie7radio.com. You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com. You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com. You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com. You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
I'd like to ask you a few important questions. Has this ever happened to you? What does your motor club do for you? Do they limit the amount of services to 3 or 4 per year? Will your motor club give you a $500 check if you go to the emergency room as a result of a covered accident? Do they offer a daily hospital benefit of up to $54,000? Do they give you an extra $300 to $500 a week for their membership referral rewards program? Will your motor club pay if you are injured at home, work, or play simply because you signed up with them? Last question, can you afford not to be covered? My name is Carrie McClintock, and I would like to introduce you to Motor Club of America's Total Security Package. Our emergency road service is a premier service that is in demand all over the United States and Canada. This service includes towing of up to 100 miles with no set cap on the number of tows,
Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
tire checks, lock service, and record towing service. Just call the toll-free number for MCA Sign and Go service for towing to the nearest servicing facility, or call the garage or service station of your choice for reimbursement of up to $100. Travel assistance reimbursement. When a member's car is disabled in an auto accident, Motor Club will reimburse up to $500 for a rental car for an accident at home, or up to $500 for lodging, meals, and transportation when more than 50 miles away from home. Trip planning and travel reservations. MCA offers free, easy-to-read, step-by-step computerized mapping services free of charge to members. Simply fill out a travel information card or call MCA's toll-free number. This includes places of interest, resort, motel, and hotel information found along your route. You also have a one-stop reservation service for airline travel, car rental, and hotel discounts. Bail bonds. MCA will arrange up to a $25,000 bond to release you when you are driving a vehicle and charged with a moving traffic law violation, such as vehicular manslaughter or auto-related negligent homicide. Simply call the toll-free number on the back of your membership card. Stolen vehicle reward. MCA will pay a $5,000 reward that protects your vehicle and discourages theft. The reward will be paid to the law enforcement agency or individual responsible for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the thief. The reward is not payable to you, your family, or other members on your MCA membership. Discounts on prescriptions, vision care, and dental. Our discount card is an easy way to help you and your family receive discounts on all of your prescription, vision, and dental needs. You received a unique membership card allowing you to receive up to a 65% discount on prescriptions, up to a 50% discount on vision, and up to a 50% discount on dental procedures. When you are injured in a covered auto accident that requires emergency treatment or hospital admission within 72 hours, MCA's security membership provides emergency reimbursement benefits. Receive up to $500 emergency cash for emergency room or trauma center treatment received due to injury in a covered auto accident. Daily hospital benefit. $54,750 hospital cash benefits. You will receive $150 per day beginning the first day you are hospitalized as a result of a covered auto accident for up to 365 consecutive days. Accidental death benefit. Your estate will receive $10,000 when you die as a direct result of injuries received in a covered auto accident. Travel Assistance Program. The named member receives the Travel Assist Program, which assists worldwide with issues such as medical evacuation, medical repatriation, non-medical repatriation, return of remains, visit to hospital, return of child, return of companion. Do any of these services apply to you? If any of these services offered are of interest to you, please call the person who referred you to this video and see how, for pennies a day, you can be covered.
Conseil, religion,
Hey there, thank you for
éducation,
joining us.
politique, musique,
Today we are going to
business,
discuss a very
tout sur pirateheavenradio.com.
My name is Richard Voltaire,
My name is Hudson Charles.
and this is H&R. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest today, and I want to introduce you guys to the lovely Jodael. Jodael, say hi to the people.
Hello.
Yeah, she's here because we need a female's perspective, especially on this next topic that we're going to be talking about. This next topic we're going to be talking about is, should couples live together before marriage?
It's a great topic, huh?
Listen, we are not here to try to tell people how to live their lives. That is not what we're doing. We are literally just giving our personal opinions, our personal perspectives. And yes, we are saved individuals. So yes, you are going to get, the Christian perspective. But at the same time, we are going to be logical as well.
You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com. You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
A lot of young people that I talk to, they say, well, it's okay. But also us as Christians, we have also our say, our perspective. We need to talk about it. We need to bring it to light for everyone to see. So that's why we're here this afternoon, and it's gonna be a good time with Jodael here.
Yes.
And it's gonna be a great time.
Listen, we're going to have a great conversation, ladies and gentlemen, okay? We are going to talk. We're going to laugh. We're going to have a good time here. So I just want to let y'all know, okay? Listen, I'm just going to keep it real, okay? So if someone's going to sit here and ask me, should an individual live with somebody before marriage, I'm just going to give a flat out no. Mm-hmm. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think an individual should live with somebody before they get married. And I have heard all the scenarios. I've heard all the situations. I even heard the car analogy, which I'll let someone else discuss about that. Listen, I'm going to take the Bible approach, okay? And I'm going to go with Genesis chapter 3, verse 24, chapter 2, verse 24. And I'm sorry, at the end of the day, listen, this is what it is, okay? It says, you shall leave your parents' house after you have your wife. I'm sorry, but to me, that makes sense. Yeah. And to me, that makes sense because, listen, I just have this whole notion about, boyfriends and girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? So, because the thing about it is, things in life is not guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So you can't play around with that. And I feel like nowadays we rush into things. Yeah. And I feel like, and the argument that's always told is like, well, how am I going to know Johnny if I don't live with him? Listen, I don't know about y'all at home, but let's be honest, okay? The people that I hang around with, they transparent. So they're going to let you know who they are. Listen, let's be honest for a second, okay? Let's keep it real for a second. Let's say you're dating somebody for 2.5 years, 3 years, okay? If you don't know how they living, there's something wrong with you. You should be doing your research. You got to live with somebody to know how they living? You ain't got to see my house. What they hiding there? Are they hiding bodies in there or something? Because I need to know. No, I'm sorry. Like, I need to know what's going on. Like, yo, How come I don't know after all this time? I'm not saying stay in a person's house, nothing like that. I'm just trying to say you need to know at that time how the person's living. After all them years being with somebody, you still know how they're living? Yo, all of a sudden you shocked? What you shocked about? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry. There should not be a shock factor.
You are listening
If you're
to
with someone
the
that's
Paris
transparent
Heaven
and
Radio,
someone that literally
90.1
is
FM,
honest with you, and someone that's
ParisHeavenRadio.com.
literally, and you guys are connecting, and you've been together that long, what is the shock factor? I'm like, to me, it's as simple as 1, 2, 3. How you living at home? Are you a slob? Do you brush your teeth in the morning? Can you see your closet? Can you see your floor? To me, these are questions that can be answered. No, yes. Simple. Okay, she's a slob. Okay, her breath stinks in the morning. Like, these are answers to questions that you will know if you ask. You don't gotta live with the person to know that stuff. I'm sorry, that's just me.
Yeah, I understand that, but one thing we have to ask these questions too. Is it being together, do we have a goal? Is it just to live, is it something, temporary, or is it something for the long term? Is it the goal, I'm dating someone to marry that person, or is it just to have fun? So all those questions, we need to talk about those, because a lot of people out there, they together, but when you ask them, okay, it's been 2 months, now 6 months, or maybe a year, so what's the goal? Is it just to be with that person, have fun, everything goes, or is it someone that you plan to marry? So living together, to me, as we're gonna talk about this, to me, living together, you have all the facts that you have to bring in to say, okay, why are they together right now? What pushed them to be together? Or is it something that they just do because, society, that's what a lot of people, that's what they do right now. And you even see that in the church. We're gonna talk about that a little later, but I just wanted to just give you a hint, because even in the church, you see a lot of people, they still go to church, but they live together with the boyfriend and girlfriend. But
And they sitting in the back, y'all. They sitting in the back.
I'm not trying to say anything.
They sit in the back of the church.
But we need to address that, because it's not a topic that churches talk. A lot of churches, they don't talk about those. People just figuring things out by themselves. They go to church to just listen to sermon, and pray God.
You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com. You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
Richard, I agree with you. So one thing that I was going to bring up as an argument is that, like you said earlier, some people do pose the question or statement. They say, I want to test drive, my experience with them, since I really don't know the full picture of what I'm getting into until I live with the person. But I really like what you said when you said transparency is required, because I feel like if you have that, you definitely will have a lot of your answers. But the thing is, living together or not, the person's constantly unraveling. So it's like, for me, I know some people who say I'm gonna live with the person before I get married, but for me, I've always said I think it's a kind of a cop-out of a commitment, because you're always gonna find, I guess, your trials with anybody, or your wins with anybody is just is the person worth fighting for. You just need to choose the person that's worth fighting for. So I feel like ultimately, with any commitment you make, there is going to be some pluses, there are going to be some minuses. You just have to be willing to go for the ride. So a lot of people, some people who I know that say I'm going to live with a person before marriage, I just feel like kind of afraid of commitment a little bit, I think. I don't know the root issue for everybody, but I feel like for some people, you're just afraid to make that jump. And I understand it's a big risk. Marrying somebody for the rest of your life, that's like a really big risk to take. And I'm a very deliberate person. I like to overthink. But yeah, I think fear definitely plays a role in people not making a decision to commit.
So would you say that they pretty much, sometimes they just leave, they say we living together, but when it goes 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and you're still asking yourself, okay, do you plan to live together, or when are you gonna make that decision you're already doing everything that that couples do anyway. So the commitment that you talk about now, why are people afraid of this word marriage? And you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to ask that to see what you guys gonna say about it, because together for so long and then you're still not married, why are people so afraid of that?
I mean, that's a very interesting question. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. It's like people want.
You are
everything,
listening to the
know,
Paris
that
Heaven
marriage
Radio,
couples do.
90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
A lot of people, a lot of individuals, and like Jodael said, they're afraid of commitment. Maybe they saw, maybe it's their parents. You know what I'm saying? Maybe their parents were messed up, and they had seen that, and they didn't have good examples. So they're like, okay, you know what? So for me to make this commitment, it's difficult now because, I want to marry such and such, but because like I never had that example. Like my parents' marriage was horrible. My dad was doing this to my mother, and it just wasn't something that I thought marriage should be. So I'm afraid that that's going to follow me into my marriage. They feel like it's just gonna be a thing that's just gonna continue on with their particular marriage, and I think that's what it is. Like, because a lot of times these kids they don't have good examples of marriage. It's not they don't want to get married; they're afraid. They're afraid. So it's like, okay, well, so let's just live together and let's just see what happens. Well, you don't want to do that because to me, it's like, why should I give my all to someone who doesn't get to finish my story with me?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like to me, and let's be honest, we're going to be transparent for a second. People want to live together because they want easy access to the, okay? Let's just keep it real for a second, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I ain't got to travel.
Have a good
All I
time.
got to do is go home and get it. Okay? So listen, all I got to do is open up that door. And it's the access is there. Let's be honest. As a man, I mean, listen, I can't speak for the females, but as men, I know that's how some men think. They're like, yo, I ain't trying to travel, so I can just go home and get it. What the heck?
I feel like females are usually more ready to get married than men are, though. It's usually the men that are, because it's you guys that have to put the ring on the finger. So it's usually the men that are, I feel like, have cold feet.
That's real.
Wow.
So what would your advice be? Like, I mean, I don't know. You said were you talking about your parents?
Oh, no. I was using an example.
Just-
Using an example. That was it.
So, what would your advice be for someone who's afraid? Like,
You are listening
whole
to
thing is
the
like,
Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM,
I'm a writer, right?
ParisHeavenRadio.com.
As I'm writing, I write my
You
own
are
stories.
listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
Especially when it came to Paul. If you're looking at Paul, his name was Saul at first. This dude was killing, crucifying Christians. But that wasn't his story. That was not his purpose. That was just a part of his story.
yeah,
Paul wrote literally the New Testament.
he didn't let his past define.
No, he did not allow his past to define who he was. Do not allow your past to define what you are allowing to transpire in the future. You see, it's not about what was. It's about what is. Do not be afraid to allow God to bring you into a brighter future. Your parents' story doesn't have to be yours. We allow hindrance, we allow bondage to allow us, to just really just allow us to be in this stuck place, And it's sad because it's like we all have these great stories that we should be telling our children, but it's like this revolving circle. Oh, you're just like your daddy. You're just like your mama. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, that has been poured into your whole entire life, And people are afraid to make that step because they think that that's going to be their story. No. God is trying to break you out of that. God is breaking you free from that right now. He's breaking you free from that life. When you're in Christ, you are a new creature. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's like you got to live out that truth. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're going to be stuck. And you shouldn't even be in a relationship if you're that afraid. Yeah. What you doing with somebody and you jacked up like that?
That's true. So, but you know something, and for the world, the people that don't believe in God, what they usually say is test it before you buy it. I mean, that's the concept that everybody use, But from the Christian standpoint, Christian perspective, when you say something like that, first of all, you expose yourself to so many things. Because first of all, you got Jesus in your life. You're trying to live by the word. You believe in God, you have to also think about those things. You cannot say it as everyone is saying it, because you have a different meaning. You know, your relationship should have a different meaning, because you, as Christians, we don't have someone in our lives like date someone just to have fun. It's different. Yes, we're gonna have that fun in the near future, but there's a step that we need to also follow. Get to know the person. That's okay. You can still have a date. You can still, go out. You can still learn from each other. It is not required for you to live with that person to know that person. You know
No,
what I'm saying? Because
not at all.
You are
because
listening
what
to
happened-
the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
You know what I'm saying? Because listen, don't get me wrong. You have a beautiful girl, you're dating, you're looking at the girl, she's looking at you, you know what I'm saying? And you said, okay, we're not married, but since we're trying to learn from each other, we're trying to know each other better, it's okay if we got a spot, we can live together. Well, we're gonna get married anyway, so might as well
just get it over with.
To the long haul. But what happened in the eyes of God? So you put yourself in position now to sin. Because when you're looking at the woman looking at you, there are some moments that comes to you, man, everything's starting to get sexy. You're looking at the table's sexy, because you're at that moment, you're looking at the woman, the woman look good.
The table's
So
sexy.
pretty much, I have to say that to laugh, but
Stupid.
let's get real. Let's get real. Sometimes you're in that moment where now you're like, wow, she's already mine. I mean, we do everything
as well.
together. You might as well
No,
get to it.
well,
You know? But in the eyes of God, you're like, what are you doing? So that's the thing that we have to separate what's for God and what's for the world. We're not here to follow the trend of the world. We're trying to do what's best, not only for our spiritual life, but also to be in front of God. When we say you go on Sunday to pray, to praise God, but what have you done during the week? You know what I'm saying? So you live together. It's always a risk for us, especially young people, because when I was reading biblical counseling coalition, they were talking about like 75% of women between the age of 15 and 44 said they've been living with their boyfriend. Same for men, or girlfriend, by the time they're 30. So that means it's an experience that people sometimes are looking for to get this out of the way. Some people get stuck to it, but people that like 30 and up, they have a different goal. So which means like teenagers.
You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
But
You are
sometimes
listening
you
to
don't have
the
that.
Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
A lot of men turn into like what they say, dogs, because the experience they have, kind of like mess them up, and they're like, you know what, I'm going on a rampage now. For some women, they're like, oh, so it's like that, so you're gonna hurt me, because there was never a goal, there was never a purpose in that relationship. There was never a standard. You know what I'm saying? And even what we watching on TV, what we're listening to, the music, all those things sometimes give you that feeling like, wow, I want to have that life. I want to have this, because that's what's going on. That's the trend that's going on. That's what the Bible says. You should not be following the trend. But we keep falling into those. And that's what sometimes we become confused. We cannot separate what's for God and what's in the world. So living, to me, with someone before marriage, that's a no to me. That's a no. Because why? Because I don't need to live with you to know you.
It's true.
I can always meet with you. We can have dinner. We can talk, get to know the person. But living with you, that's a longer term.
It's real.
Some people live with each other out of circumstance, though. Like, some people are just like, I can't afford to pay rent by myself, so let's just roommates. What are your thoughts about that?
I mean, listen. Now, I know individuals who are saved. They're not together, but they're the opposite sex and they live together. And like Jody just said, through circumstances. I understand that. And I'm not like knocking that. I'm talking about your significant other, like someone that you're with, like your boyfriend, your girlfriend. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh, wow, this is the only way. I'm like, listen, the one thing I learned about God He does not make one way. Like when it comes to circumstances like that, he will always be like, listen, this is not the only way. I will find a way to hook you up. Because to me, it's like, I'm not going to say it's a cop-out because I'm like, well, you know what? Shoot. I mean, you got a house. I need a place to live. It makes sense. And that's the problem. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, we don't trust God. You know, we always try to find the easy way out. Like, yo, she got a crib, simple way out. So, you know, no. Because God's not just let you just be in that situation, especially when he don't even agree with it. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's a logical thing to do. No, it's not. And I'm gonna be honest, like, okay, so when I talk to couples, and I've always conversed with couples, you know, after the wedding.
You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
The wedding and the marriage is not the same thing. It is not. But for some reason, the both of them are intertwined. So I talk to individuals who have not lived together before they get married. They're just like, oh my gosh, Brother Richard, oh, yo, it's great, man. It's awesome, man. It's beautiful, man. Yeah. It's amazing, man. You know, they're in the honeymoon stage, right? Yeah. Even 10 years down the road, like, man, it's great, brother. Yeah, you know, marriage has its challenges, you know, but you know what, man? I wouldn't change for where I love my boo, man. But for individuals who I ask who live together before they get married, yo, how is it? It's pretty much the same, dog. Yep. I mean, the only difference is now she's my wife. It's the same, dog. It's the same. They all told me that. Even the girls say something. They say, it's pretty much the same thing. That's what they say. There's no difference because you're already doing everything that married couples do. The only difference is you're not husband and wife. So to me, it's like, what exactly are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're ruining everything. And some people are like, well, that doesn't mean that the marriage is going to last because they don't live together. Well, that means you married the wrong person. That's all that is. So let's not even throw that in there. People are like, oh, well, just because they don't live together doesn't mean their marriage is going to last. That's because you married the wrong person. That's all that is. And like my brother Hudson was saying, you know, like you don't have to live with the person to know how the person is living. It's like I said in the beginning, yo, if you really want to know, be like, yo, you need to be like Inspector Gadget. I'm like, you know what? I think we should go analyze your apartment real quick. Because if you're going to marry a person, like, I want to see what's up. I want to see how you living. I ain't going to live up in here, but I got to see what's going on. If she got some bodies up in there in the closet, you know she ain't the one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just saying, you know.
Questions. It's all about questions.
I mean, people are making people do like those STD tests too.
Oh Lord.
So yeah, questions.
Oh Lord, you gotta go up in there.
But anyhow, one thing that
you are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com. You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
Seems like the precursor to any successful relationship is being able to be open and vulnerable and talk, be honest about who you are. Like, do you feel like you even have that step down pat?
You know what? That's a good question.
Great question.
You know, sometimes to some men, you know, it's kind of hard to kind of like use that sensitive side, you know, kind of like trying to use some type of way to talk. But listen, if you do care for somebody, you care for that person, there's no need because you know what you're after, right? You're trying to find out about the person. So be truthful and be transparent and talk. For me, I'll talk to you straight up. I ask you questions, like even if sometimes you feel uncomfortable, but I'm trying to get to know you. I don't have to you know, leave or even try to, you know, sleep with you or anything like that to know you.
You're talking about asking them questions. Are you honest and transparent when they ask you questions?
Yeah, pretty much. Question, answer. You say, hey, Hudson, what's your name? I'm Hudson Charles.
There you go.
What else you want to know? Okay, Hudson, where do you live? I'll tell you exactly where I live.
Like this. Hudson, were you hurt when I did this? Can you answer that?
Definitely.
Listen, me at the end of the day, okay, this is how it is for me, right? I'm never going to ask anybody to do anything that I won't do myself. So to me, it's like, listen, I am open and honest about everything. First of all, you're going to know. And the reason why people are honest with me and transparent because I set the tone of transparency. I started off and they're like, oh wow, he's that honest? So they're like, okay, so you know what? I gotta be that honest too. Cause you giving off that energy, you're gonna receive that same energy back. I'm gonna say hiding stuff. Well, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know yet. So I mean, then what the heck? Ain't no one got time for that. I'm a grown man. I don't got time for these games. But no, this is what it is. This is what I want.
Right.
This is who I am. Who are you?
Yeah.
That's what it is. So I'm giving it out, and I'm expecting that same energy back. That's what it is. You know, shoot.
Just say it like it is. You know, there's nothing to hide. You know, sometimes, you know, people, the front they showing you, that's not who they really are. When you get hurt, yes, I would say when you get hurt by somebody, you gotta find healing first. You know, first of all, you can't jump from one boat to another boat. You know what I'm saying? Just like that, because it takes time. I know changes take time. Sometimes healings even take time, because if you just
You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
and find out, okay, what happened? Find closure first, because when you go to the next relationship, now everything is piling on in your heart, you know, and now you start seeing other people the same way that you used to see the last one. So the thing is just find healing first. And listen, as Christians, we already know how it is. So you feel down, you pray, you know, and I always have to bring that Christian perspective, because that's what I know. That's what I live by, you know, like you were just talking about. You be transparent. Transparency, you set the tone in any conversations that you have. You set the tone. You if you start with a lie, you know lie gonna multiply, you know. But if you start with the truth, you're gonna keep going with the truth. So you have to be truthful. If truly you're a Christian that believes in God, you don't want to deceive people, because you're not gonna try to deceive God, because He knows your heart. So what's going on in here is important, because if you're talking to somebody, it's all about the truth. You got to talk to the person, say, this is who I am, and the person will tell you who she is or who he is, you know. So that's all. That's what I see, you know. So to me, that's what a lot of people get hurt. I see Richard, we talk, but I don't know Richard, because he has so many things that's going on in here. I see Jodahel, we talk, you know, we talk, yeah, but he has a hidden agenda.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I see that girl, but I'm trying to get with that girl, but once I'm done, I'm out. That's what a lot of people do, you know. Even to some degree, even women, like, you know what, I'm not trying to get down with this man, even if he's a nice guy. All I'm trying to do is just get that moment and walk away. Christians, we're not supposed to be like that. You see a lot of people like that. Even some Christians are like that. But the thing is, it's about, like, listen, understand that everything that you do has consequences. Even if you don't see it now, you'll see it later. You know, every actions that you take.
You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com. You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
Good day and a bad day. Just having a really bad day, brother.
The word says, the word of God says, what you reap
is what you sow. Yeah, so exactly.
If you do bad things are
gonna happen to you. That's what it is.
Straight up. So don't hurt people. So that's how I see it. Transparency in everything that you do, and that's when you'll be better in life.
And something I do want to say too, and I'm talking to all the men out there, because I am a man. I'm not trying to call y'all out, but I am actually calling a certain group of men out. Please stop giving these women out here false hope. Don't do that, because to me it's like, yo, baby, I'm gonna live with you. You know what I'm saying? And yo, I know you want marriage real quick, but yo, let's live together and let's see how this goes. My whole thing is like, female, please don't fall for that nonsense, okay? If a dude is with you, he's gonna be with you. You're gonna know that. You don't gotta live with him to know that Tyrone's about you. You know what I'm saying? You know, listen, I'm just saying, like, stop providing women with false hope, man. Stop doing that. You're living with them and you're giving them all this false hope. You're sucking so much energy from them, you know? And the problem is, it's like, oh my goodness, like, and the problem is now the women are like, man, like, I gave this dude my all and my everything, and he just dumped me like I was nothing. Man, please stop doing that, because this woman belongs to somebody. There is someone that she's actually supposed to be with, but because now that she's dealing with all this heartache, she won't even recognize the dude she actually supposed to be with, because you live with her, you jacked her up, and now she's like, oh man, I don't even know what to do with myself. Like, So men, please stop doing it. And women, if you're doing it too, stop. But men, I'm a man, so I'm saying I've seen it so many times where a man lives with a woman for all the wrong reasons. So please stop doing that. Please stop it, men, because it's not okay. Okay? We should respect and honor women. That is not how you do it. Okay? I mean, it's just not okay. I mean, I had to say that.
What about women? What would you say?
I mean, Jody, I mean, you got this one. You know.
Women just stop being so open to low standards.
Woo-hoo, saying, yeah, papa.
All right.
Speaking tongues.
All right. So that's one thing, but also, like he said, don't be the one that's tearing the man's heart apart as well. There's a lot of women, well, there's some women who don't know what they want, or who might be in an unhealed space, and they go damaging other people because they're not ready to be in a relationship. So I'll say, woman, get healed, and get your standards up. Keep your standards up.
Proverbs 3 verse 5.
You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
Makes sense to you, and if it doesn't make sense to you, you have a God. You learn to pray more. As Christians, that's the best advice I can get, especially when you go through a relationship with somebody, because not every relationship is going to be easy, because relationship require you at 100%, just like the other person. Both parties have to be engaged. It's not one trying to do 90% of the work and the other one's just doing 10%. You know what I'm saying? And when we're talking, it's like, how he's in control, or he's doing everything, or she wants to control, or she's doing everything. So you gotta have conversations, find understanding together. As you're praying God, you're gonna be dealing with less hurt, less problems. And that doesn't mean it's gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be perfect, but you will learn how to work it together. But God has to be involved in your relationship, to pray. And like I said, living together, sometimes Bible, it's not in the Bible that says you should not live together with someone. But you need to understand, as men and women, attraction, it's better to not put yourself in that position. There might be some people out there that live together, but they keep their distance, and they still get their work done. Maybe they're coming from college, maybe they just moved to a new state, a new place, and they try to figure things out. It can happen. But the thing is, the Bible says to flee sexual immorality. So what you need to do to understand that it's better to not put yourself, if you can't handle it, you can't do it, don't do it. Don't put yourself in that position. And for me, I don't know. I don't think I can do it. I'll stay away. I'd rather stay away, because it's better for me, because you have to be able to manage that. But sometimes you can't even manage yourself. How are you going to be able to
You are
manage
listening to
someone else?
the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
Because as
You
a
are
man of
listening to
God,
the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
when that moment of weakness come to you, you know how to, hey, let me go for a jogging instead. Let me go for some boxing. Or let me go to that gym and get that moment out. Because it's not that easy. But understand this. It's better to be, when they say better be safe than sorry.
Yep.
You gotta make sure that you work on yourself and know who you are. If you know you're someone that can't handle this, don't put yourself in that position. And that goes for men and women, young and old. It's for everybody. So, but as we keep growing in God and we're trying to do what's right, we're trying to live according to God's word, but we also have to know that first, we have to know how to deal with people too. We have to know how to deal with one another. Whether you're dating, respect should be there, truth should be there, support should be there, love should be there, but also make sure that sin is sin. You don't play with that. The moment you start doing this, you're doing the wrong thing, the light of God is not in you anymore, therefore you have no boundaries. You start doing stupid things. So you got to understand that and work your life every day to be better, be a better version of yourself every day in life as you keep moving forward with God.
So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Christ has given us a blueprint on how to live this life. this is what we have chosen. We have chosen to follow God's blueprint because we know that he has our best interest at heart, and he has your best interest at heart too. So people think, oh, well, these rules are annoying. No, these rules are to protect you from yourself. And we need to utilize those rules and utilize God's blueprint in order for us to live a life that is that's holy and pleasing unto him, and live a life, I wouldn't say painless, but a life that pleases God, and a life that literally you can actually benefit from. So, ladies and gentlemen, our special guest, Jodiel. I don't know if you have any projects or anything that you want to talk to people about, that you want to advertise or anything like that.
I have a blog.
She got the blog, y'all.
Shewrites.life. It's just a lifestyle blog, and I also share the word of God on there. So if you ever want to scroll on by, go on ahead. She-writes.life.
Yes, that being said, guys, we want to thank you so much for all support. We want to thank Rosso Productions. We're at the studio. It's 572 Boston Road in Billerica, Massachusetts. We want to thank the great Welch Paul for just allowing us to have this beautiful platform.
You are listening to
ladies and gentlemen,
the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
Great, y'all. Thank you. God bless.
Conseil, religion, éducation, politique, musique, business, tout sur pirateheavenradio.com.
Oh, y'all look good. I want you to look at something right now. Think of some major goal you want, or maybe it's one you're already working on and you have experienced a lot of setbacks, a lot of defeats. You've experienced a lot of disappointment. Maybe you've already given up. And maybe you just need a little fire, a little encouragement to get back in the game again. Here's what I want you to look at. There are winners, and there are losers, and there are people who have not discovered how to win. And all they need is some coaching. All they need is some help and assistance, just a little support. All they need is some insight or a different strategy, a plan of action to make some adjustments that will open up the key to a whole new future for them, that will give them access to the unlimited power that they have within themselves. That's all that they need. So what I want you to do is think about something you want for you, that's real for you, that's important for you, that will give your life some special meaning and power. And I don't even want you to say, I can do that. I don't want you to assume that. See, 5 years ago when I started out in this area, I would not have been able to make the mental leap that I would be up to where I am right now. I don't want you to begin to just psych yourself out. No. I want you to be able to say something to yourself that will enable you to maintain a level of integrity with yourself.
You are listening to
that when you say this, even when you face tremendous setbacks, it will be a benchmark to keep you in the game, to keep you moving forward and experimenting and readjusting your strategy and your plan of action, continuously looking for ways to win. So what is that something? When you got an idea you want to move on, you might not have the money, you might not have the education, you might not have the support or the resources you need. What is that something that can keep us going, that will enable us to act on our dream? What's one of those keys that will begin to help us to discover the secrets to our dream? Here's what I want you to repeat after me, please, with power and conviction. Say, it's possible. It's possible. That's all I want you to do when you look at your dream. Just say to yourself every day, it's possible. Just say that every day to yourself, it's possible. Because what does that do? See, it begins to change your belief system. See, the way in which we operate, ladies and gentlemen, it's a manifestation of what we believe, what's possible for us. Whatever you've done up to this point, all that it really is a duplication, it's a reproduction of what you believe subconsciously that you deserve and what's possible for your life. Most people operate out of their personal history, out of their memory, things they have done, things they've experienced, things they've seen, things that they have observed. What I'm suggesting that you operate out of a larger vision of yourself, I want you to see yourself doing what you want to do, experiencing what you want to experience, having what you want to have, doing what it is that gives your life some meaning and value. Operate out of your imagination, not your memory. Because whenever you look at where you want to go, I'm wanting to warn you, you will have some conversation back here after you go through the data that you've experienced in life saying you can't do it. And so what you want to begin to do is ignore that inner conversation. Well, most people, ladies and gentlemen, when something happens to them, what they do is they begin to believe that that's the way it is. That's the way it's always been. And they can't see the possibility of it being any different. Example, before April 1954, the common belief, the universal belief, because it had been tried again and again and again and people had failed, the belief was that man was not physically capable of breaking the 4-minute barrier, that he could not run a mile in less than 4 minutes. That was the belief on the planet. It had never been done. But here's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. Roger Bannister came along, and he broke the 4-minute barrier.
Paris Heaven Radio.
Now here's what's significant about that. Since that time, up to this day, over 20,000 people have done it, including high school kids. What changed? 20,000 people, what changed? Here's what happened when they got on the track. They knew it had been done. And because they knew it had been done, there was a new belief about this barrier, about this goal that was unreachable. And those 20,000 people got in a race believing, knowing in their heart that someone had done it, that it's possible, that they could do it. And I'm saying that if you know anybody that had some goal, some dream, something they wanted to do, and they did it, then I'm saying that you know in your heart that if someone has done it, then you can do it. It's possible. And that if someone can make their dream become a reality, that it's possible that you can make your dream become reality. And so as you begin to look at where you want to go, beginning to embrace that, it's possible. I'm blessed and highly favored. I've got a lot going for me. I got some good stuff in me. And it's possible that I can bring my greatness out here in the universe. That I can do what I want to do. It's possible I can write my own book. I can have my own business. I can take the trip and travel around the world. It's possible. I can bounce back from adversity and reinvent my life. It's possible. Regardless of where I am, the things can get better for me. It's possible. I'm thinking about two men right here in Chicago who were fairly successful, similar background, educated. They worked for a corporation for many years, and they were among many people that were laid off. Two guys who were very good friends. One went out looking for a job for several weeks, along with the other one, and they faced disappointment and rejection again and again and again. They couldn't find any work, which is the story of many people across the country. One guy stopped.
You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio. 90.1 FM.
He stayed home looking at television, became very argumentative and toxic with his wife, drinking beer, getting on the phone, talking to his other negative, unemployed friends. And he just gave up. The other guy kept looking for a job everywhere he could go. Every time he could get an opportunity, kept asking people, networking, checking the newspapers every day. Kept going everywhere he could, trying to find a job. You have too much education. You're overqualified. You won't be here long enough. He kept going. He kept going. He went to a place and said, look here, I tell you what, if you can't hire me, and I know you can use my talents, abilities, and skills, I don't want to sit home and do nothing. Just let me do some volunteer work. You don't have to give me anything, all right? I just want to work. I want to be busy. Guy said, okay, it's on you now, but don't expect me to give you anything. It's okay. This guy came in and worked. He was the first one there. The last one to leave was the best employee there. About 4 weeks later, one of the top managers quit. They were looking for a replacement. Guess who they selected? this other guy, this guy who was volunteering his time, he got the job. What was the difference between the two men? Eyesight and mindsight. Eyesight is judging on what you see, judging according to appearances. But mindsight is how you interpret what you see. One guy said, it's not possible, it's over, I'm finished. I can't do it. I can't make it. He surrendered. I've faced rejection again and again. I'm not going anymore. There are no jobs out there. But this other guy, he felt that in spite of the no's and rejections, in spite of how bad the economy is, in spite of what the newspapers are saying, that it's possible that somebody somewhere will give me a job. He just kept going, thinking it was possible. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's what we have to do with our dreams. Because things happen to you in life that you can never, ever anticipate. And many times when those things happen, you want to give up. I remember when I was in broadcasting, when I was a disc jockey, I became very controversial, not only being a disc jockey, but I felt that radio was something that you not only entertain people with, but you also empower them, you educate them. And I got fired. I didn't just leave, they fired me.
You are listening to the Paris
That
Heaven
was
Radio,
a shock.
90.1 FM,
I said, wait a minute.
ParisHeavenRadio.com.
They took my microphone. I thought that was who I was. No, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't. I had to do something else. And I didn't know what else I could do. See, here's what I'm looking at. What are the uses for your life right now that you haven't even reached for yet? See, I believe that when you don't have enough encouragement to act on your dreams or ideas, or you're not enlightened enough, that life will act on you. See, life had moved on me and said, Les Brown, you have outgrown this. It's time for you to do something else. Well, I wasn't enlightened enough. I organized some disc jockeys and got my job back. So they had to fire me again. I got fired twice. Here's what I did. I had to think of something else. And so a guy suggested to me, he said, Les, why don't you run for office? I said, man, I've never run for office. I've never known anything about how to operate in the political arena. I've heard encourage people to register to vote and get out to vote, but I don't know anything about politics. He said, well, neither do the people who run for office all the time. So I ran. Now here's what I'm suggesting. I ran. You got to do what you can where you are with what you have. I didn't have any money. I didn't know anything about the political process. I didn't even have any support. But here's what the guy told me. It's possible you could win. That's all I had. I was running against an endorsed candidate. He was an incumbent. He had the newspaper support, all of the leadership in the community, and I was challenging this guy. So I had a saying when I was on radio, stand up for what you believe in because you can fall for anything. And I would go door to door. I have my kids on one side of the street. I would be on the other.
You are listening
I'd
to
knock on
the
doors. Hello, my name is Les Brown. Tell everybody I'm still standing. They get on the phone. John Les Brown was to my house today. You know the boy on the radio with the big mouth? Yeah, they fired him out here. So he's still standing. See, I'm saying just keep moving. Don't start feeling sorry for yourself. Don't spend time blaming and talking about what happened to you. See, whatever you talk about, that's what you multiply and expand in your life experience. So don't talk about stuff unless you want it to keep on happening to you, all right? So I got in that kind of action. As I continue to do that, had my children with me, we're going door to door, didn't have enough money. Eventually, we got close to the election and something happened that really surprised me. Guys who I thought were going to either support me or stay out of it, various powerful community leaders, they became involved in it and they endorsed my opponent. I felt devastated. Now that's going to happen to you when you're working on your dream. Things are going to happen that's going to catch you on the blind side. That was shocking to me. They didn't have to do that. All they had to do was just stay out of it. But here they go, come up in there messing with me. Now that's going to happen. There's some people who believe it's their personal business to stop you from living your dream, all right? But I didn't deal with that. You want to make your dream come true, you got to stay focused. Some people rather get even than get ahead. Stay focused on where you want to go. I just kept on doing what I was supposed to do. And so I was driving to the radio station. My opponent had over $20,000. I had less than $800. As I was in the radio station, the guy said, "You're going to make a commercial?" I said, "Yes." He said, "It better be a good one because that money can't go pretty far here." And I sat there in the middle control room and I was thinking. And here's what happens when you get still. Stuff will start coming. Something said, "Call your mama." You used to talk about your mother on the air all the time. Ask her to say a few words for you. That'll be a different kind of political spot. So I called my mama. And I had a gospel record playing in the background. And then I had my mother say, "Hello, this is Mrs. Mamie Brown. When I raised my sons, I raised them to be good children. When they got out of hand, I beat their behind and made them go right. Please vote for my son. He's a good boy." Usually in the state representative race, maybe 3,000 or 4,000 people will come out to vote in a primary. In that primary race, over 27,000 people came out and voted and said, "I'm voting for Les Brown because his mama said he's a good boy." I won, ladies and gentlemen. I won. So you've got to be willing to stay focused, to be creative, to be relentless, because things are going to happen to you when you're working on your dream, when you get on track. I remember when I first got involved in speaking, one of the main things that speakers like to do is speak to a certain association that they have over 10,000 of their sales reps that come to this convention. And I was relentless. I kept saying, "It's possible. It's possible." See, what I want to let you know and set you up for, because you said it's possible, don't mean that you're not going to have any problems. That Murphy's Law ain't going to come and slap you side the head. Old Murphy going to come visit you. He's waiting for some of y'all out in the parking lot. "Oh, you say it's possible. Okay, it's possible. You better get up." Well, I was working. I kept saying, "It's possible. They got other speakers on this program. I can be on that program too." I kept selling myself. I got all fired up. And I was calling them every day. And the lady finally said, "Mr. Brown, I tell you what, we want you to come in and talk to our sales executives. You got the kind of fire and guts that they want, that will motivate them. And let me tell you something else. We want you to bring your motivational tapes. You're going to need at least $50,000 worth of tapes." I said, "Is that right?" "Yes, because they want to keep that drive alive." I said, "All right." I called the guy to duplicate my tapes. I said, "Don, how you doing? This is Les. Let me tell you, I got a major speaking engagement." I said, "Man, it's a speaker's dream. I need over $50,000 worth of product." He said, "Les, you don't have that kind of credit." I said, "I know, but Don, I can sell that. Just right after speaking engagement, I'll give you your money in 4 days." He said, "Are you sure, Les?" I said, "Yes, man, I got a major speaking engagement, and they told me to do it." He said, "Man, that's a big order. Let me talk with the lady with you." I said, "Hold on just a minute, man."
You are listening to
Call the lady back.
the
"Hello,
Paris
Evelyn, how you doing? This is
Radio.
Les Brown. I got Don on the phone. What did you say? Do I have the speaking engagement?" "Yes, you do." And what else you suggest? Les, our people, they buy a lot of tapes. Your tapes are very popular among them. I'm saying bring at least $50,000 worth of tapes, Les. You'll sell everything you got and more. I said, "Did you hear that, Don?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Now, if anybody else has to make a decision, are you the final person?" She said, "I'm the final person. I will send you the contract. I want you." I said, "You hear that, Don?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Oh, ye of little faith." I said, "Duplicate the tapes, man. Hung the phone up." Well, he duplicated the tapes. 1 week came by. I'm checking the mail every day. No contract. I said, "Come on, Murphy, don't start nothing, man. Come on. Come on, man, give me a break. Come on, you know, this ain't fair. Come on, man. Give your boy a break. Come on." I talked to myself, you know. I didn't want to call him right now. 2 weeks passed by. Murphy said, don't you think you ought to call him? I said, okay. I called, I said, hello, this is Les Brown calling. How you doing, Les? I said, fine. I said, Evelyn hasn't sent my contract out yet. Any additional information you need? So, Les, you haven't heard? I said, no. I said, Evelyn died. I said, she died? I said, did she say anything about me? When I got home, I was so wiped out. And Murphy was in the house waiting on me. Murphy said, is it possible you want to listen to some of your tapes? But ladies and gentlemen, here's what I had to do. I had to begin to focus on what was the solution. That this was not the only place that I'll be able to sell those products. And as I began to challenge myself and got some help and support and some other input, I eventually did. It took longer, but it was challenging. But I did it. Repeat after me, please. No matter how bad it is, or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, you got that right.
You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
Repeat after me, please. It's possible. I can have my dream. I can get what I want. I must be creative and never give up. Now, let me share something else with you, ladies and gentlemen. When you know within yourself that there's something you want to do, and I believe that all of us were born with a purpose, that all of us have something that we are supposed to do, that all of us have some goodness within us, and that goodness gives us a responsibility to manifest our greatness. And when you know that, you can feel it in your guts, and you know that you're deliberately operating below your potential, you've gotten comfortable, you stop expanding, you stop stretching, you stop challenging yourself. Let me share something else with you. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, but it's necessary. It's necessary that you have it, that you work on it, that you develop yourself, that you go for what is yours in the universe. I have a friend that at the beginning of the year I was in Los Angeles giving a speech, and I do a seminar teaching people how to become involved in the speaking business, and also one called Speaking with Power, teaching people how to begin to develop their communication skills. And this friend, I said, I want you to work with me. I called her up. She said, Les, are you sure I can do it? Sure you can. You have a PhD in communications. I don't have that. If I can do it, sure you can do it. In fact, I'm going to give you the support that you need. Here's what I realize, ladies and gentlemen. We only have enough energy to take us to a certain level. But it's necessary that we assemble ourselves with other people who share our vision, other people that can see it for us, to give ourselves a home court advantage. So it's necessary that you seek out other people who think like you, who are growing, who have decided that they are not satisfied with where they are. See, I don't believe that the necessity is the mother of invention. No, necessity, in my opinion, is not the mother of invention. Refusing to accept things the way that they are is the mother of invention. When you decide, I'm not going to settle for this, this is not going to be it for my life, I deserve more than this. See, that will start making you do some stuff. See, a lot of people go to work every day miserable, and all they do is just talk about how miserable they are. But they don't do anything about it. So I was telling her that I knew she hated her job with a passion. I said, you can do this. You got more going for you than I have going for me. And we've been going through this for years, ladies and gentlemen. She'd been to my seminar speaking for a living. She brought her husband, and that was one of the major problems that I realized that happened in her life. He couldn't see it for her. So you got to make sure that you have people in your life that can see it for you, that will encourage you. Non-affirming relationships can hurt you. And I talked to him. I said, I don't have anything to do with your marriage. He said, you and I are good friends, and she and I are good friends. And I'm not taking sides. I said, but if you can't see it for her, don't tell her that. Just give her some support. What if you're wrong? It's possible, man, that if I'm doing it, she can do it. Well, you're different. How are you going to tell me that? You've seen her speak. She's got great speaking skills. Don't underestimate her. You don't know. You got a great woman here. But you see, people who can't see it for themselves can't see it for you. He was happy. So I said, will you do it with me? I said, I'm going to give you the support you need. You can't do it by yourself. I will stand with you. She said, you will? I said, yes. I'm going to make you a part of my seminar. You'll do a part of it and I'll do a part of it. Speaking with power. She said, okay. 3 days later, ladies and gentlemen, I got an emergency call in my office. It was from my husband. He called and said,
Radio Kiskeya li fait 4 heures.
Journal 4 heures. 4 heures chaque après-midi sur Radio Kiskeya. Journal 4 heures, un seul journal à l'ESA dans tout le pays. Journal 4 heures, nouvelle totale.
You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio. 90.1 FM. ParisHeavenRadio.com.
Kidnappé, groupe religieux, l'église catholique ensemble avec famille yon père qui t'appelle dans cérémonie et côté yon père qui t'appelle installé dans zone communauté ça dans zone Croix des Bouquets, Jean que nous connaît, l'église catholique décrété 3 journées mobilisation religieuse côté toute institution yo fermée et en retant centre santé à l'hôpital mais toute l'école université est fermée. Cette décision ça et tête l'église catholique l'en prend. Maintenant yon lettre tout l'ouvri groupe opération tête ensemble envoyé bay évêque haïtien yo di quoi doit aller plus loin. Faut que a décrété 3 journées mobilisation dans la rue toute l'église ensemble avec toute société pour exiger pour Jovenel Moïse quitter palais national. Mais pendant grand pile mobilisation la prière qui a fait pour otage yo et faut que nous dit bandi yo pas chômer et démontrer capacité yo ensemble avec impuissance l'état. S'il pas dans confiance avec de toute façon pas qu'à faire rien devant bec à tête total capital nous ça qui passé dans commune Kafou hier c'est 2 bords là oui dans route nationale qui mène dans route nationale numéro 2 a bandi campé a tiré quitte c'est dans grand ravine et quitte c'est dans village de Dieu et bilan kidnapping nan plusieurs machines par exemple machine qui t'a porté médicaments pour paquet malade qui sorti tout partout dans pays dans l'hôpital Saint-Boniface là nous dans zone Fondé Blanc et bien reprend chauffeur ensemble avec tout médicament il a porté pour paquet monde qui malade un paquet malheureuse et gagné tout plusieurs monde kidnappé là-dedans yo et yon cadre dans la cour supérieure des comptes contentieux administratifs ensemble avec yon membre dans personnel et qui kembe la cour propre d'après ça la cour a précisé dans une note d'ailleurs yo prend cadre ça ensemble avec madame ni ak petit d'après précision la cour supérieure des comptes contentieux administratifs porté dans une note pour la presse. Toujours concernant l'actualité et nous avons regardé justement initiative et l'église catholique là dans l'église Sacré-Cœur toujours côté que gagné cérémonie l'école qui fermé c'est dans contexte ça République dominicaine président nan exprimé une autre fois encore inquiétude par rapport à Jean Haïti a plongé il parlait de menace de somalisation confrère nous Yves-Marie Chanel a expliqué nous raison qui portait président dominicain Luis Abinader à suivre de très près situation pays d'Haïti il dit la perdu patience et puisque li gade li ouais communauté internationale là censé croiser bras, li pas fait rien concernant détérioration situation qui gagne dans le pays d'Haïti. Li fait connaître tout bataille contre coronavirus non et République dominicaine commencé ouais clair puisque et valeur caillou baissé. N'a gagné tout pour nous parler de plusieurs autres points dans l'actualité locale là, dans l'actualité internationale là, un jour après verdict dans dossier George Floyd là, journée jodi a gen un pile américain qui mandait pour pays à profiter pour aller plus loin. Yo exigé des réformes totales capitales dans ça qui concernait comportement policier par rapport à minorité, particulièrement minorité noire là. Et puis coronavirus Inde qui c'est deuxième plus gros population qui gagne sur planète là a fait face à une vague là et dans New Delhi par exemple pas gagné oxygène pour yo bay malade yo soin. Objectif climatique président américain dans cadre premier sommet international l'a fait à partir de demain sous question ça malgré tension qui gagne entre particulièrement Vladimir Poutine ak lui-même malgré tension qui gagne tout ak Xi Jinping qui c'est président pays la Chine là et bien deux dirigeants ça a accepté pour participer dans sommet Biden a fait parce que dit c'est important pour l'humanité. Et dans le pays la Russie, partisans Navalny étaient dans la rue journée jodi dans moment Vladimir Poutine t'a prend la parole pour le faire bilan quoi chaque année une intervention qui dure plusieurs temps et côté li monter le camper sous bit point ne fait pas. Li voye pinga bay tout le monde en dedans tant coup dehors la Russie et fait songer c'est lui même qui met cap mener pays ça. Et puis département la justice n'a retourné dans dossier justice dans pays États-Unis pour l'ouvrir une enquête sur la police Minneapolis non. Tchad petit de DEBAT c'est lui-même un général 37 ans et militaire désigné pour diriger pays pendant 18 mois qui pral venir là. Opposition dénoncer un coup d'État. Et combien de temps nous devons dormir à partir de l'âge 50 ans particulièrement pour cerveau nous bien reposer pour ne pas venir représenter un danger pour nous pour bonne maladie dans cerveau nous tant que démence par exemple selon une recherche qui faite pendant 25 ans chercheurs ont publié un rapport aujourd'hui en Grande-Bretagne à partir de 50 ans faut qu'on dormir plus que 6 heures de temps sous dormir en bas 6 heures de temps cerveau en danger. Ces informations ça yo avec un pilote nous va gagner pour développer pour après-midi dans le journal ça.
Journal 4A c'est Unibank qui potel pour nous. Unibank, banque 5 étoiles là, c'est meilleure banque pour déposer l'argent.
Are you a gig worker or self-employed? Wombly has helped over 100,000 small businesses get a PPP loan. You may qualify for up to $41,000 and 100% free. That's
Healthcare professionals.
You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com. You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
Conseil, religion, éducation, politique, musique, business, tout sur pirateheavenradio.com. Conseil, religion, éducation, politique, musique, business, tout sur pirateheavenradio.com.
A cardigan.
Yep. Anywhere, making Capital One an even.
Conseil, religion, éducation, politique, musique, business, tout sur pirateheavenradio.com. Conseil, religion, éducation, politique, musique, business, tout sur pirateheavenradio.com. Conseil, religion, éducation, politique, musique, business, tout sur pirateheavenradio.com.
Just out. Talking to you, Tilly Freak Twin.
You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
Avec petit frère.
Conseil, religion, éducation, politique, musique, business, tout sur pirateheavenradio.com. Conseil, religion, éducation, politique, musique, business, tout sur pirateheavenradio.com.
You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com. You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
Télé Kiskeya, chaîne 14, Digital Cab 65.
Actualité nationale, internationale.
Pas rater, c'est mot de passe là. Parce que faut là, nan mi-tan actualité a même.
Rendez-vous 9h, sorti lundi, rive samedi à 9h nan souhait sous télé Kiskeya.
Pas raté.
Pas raté.
Pas raté.
La science poko en mesure by date où tremblement de terre arrivé.
Are you a gig worker or self-employed? Womply has helped over 100,000 small businesses get a PPP stimulus loan. And
Conseil, religion, éducation, politique, musique, business, tout sur pirateheavenradio.com.
C'est pas répondre pareil, c'est pas répondre pareil, c'est pas répondre pareil, c'est pas répondre pareil.
La presse qui parle passe pour qui, c'est GPI.
You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
La presse, c'est plus bon garantie pour nous toutes. La presse menacée, c'est toute démocratie qui est en danger.
Liberté youn pour parler, c'est liberté nous toutes pour nous parler. Vive liberté la presse.
Vous êtes à l'écoute de Radio Kiskeya.
Radio Kiskeya, il fait 4
oui, bon intervention auditeur depuis Paris et très intéressant. Radio Kiskeya combat pour conserver son autonomie, son indépendance.
Conseil, religion, éducation, politique, musique, business, tout sur pirateheavenradio.com.
Oui, nous allons prendre dernier nouvelle tag, dernier bulletin unité hydrométéo à Christette à présenter. Bonsoir Christette.
Bonsoir pour Liliane, bonsoir Antoniel, bonsoir toute équipe là, auditeur, auditrice Radio Kiskeya, bien bonsoir pour nos chaque. Mais comment situation temps présentée dans Caraïbes sous Atlantique là pour après-midi, mercredi qui c'est 21 avril 2021. Nous gagnons zone côté pression en piro dans niveau Atlantique Nord, c'est lui-même qui continue rendre temps sec et faciliter vent souffler de temps en temps plus fort sous partie région Caraïbes. Toutefois, vent cap souffler ça yo gen la dani et l'humidité cap met chaleur journée effet local yo, ça qui pral faciliter département nord, nord-est, centre, la Tibonite, l'ouest avec Grados bénéficier ti activité la pluie à quelques coups de l'orage pour Assoya. C'est même cas de figure là pour Port-au-Prince à zone qui entoure Nyon, il y a possibilité.
You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com. You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.
6h31. Température a tombé à Soya entre 18 à 24 degrés Celsius en moyenne. C'est là nous mettons un bout dans ça qui gagne pour dans affaires météo pour jeudi avec vendredi. Eh bien, totalement, brume de sable avec son volcan à pour retirer koyo pour nous une belle journée très ensoleillée. Il y a possibilité encore pour activité la pluie, pas étant ni pour jeudi, ni pour vendredi, comme vini là. N'a pour monsieur Liliane et Antoniel, toute équipe là, auditrice Radio Kiskeya, nous souhaitons passer une agréable fin d'après-midi. Rendez-vous pour nous auditoire Kiskeya informé à travers météo, c'est pas pour demain jeudi après-midi. Bonne fin d'après-midi Liliane.
Ou même tout Christnet là demain.
Merci Liliane.
On joue depuis otage groupe religieux ak de laïc engagé famille on père trouvé yo nan main kidnappeur groupe 400 Marozo. D'après toute information gain pas rien qui bougeait depuis semaine passée elle était lagué maman père et père ça yo nous connaissons père Evans Joseph, père Michel Briand qui c'est un français, père Jean Niques Milien, père Joël Thomas, père Hugues Baptiste qui c'est père archidiocèse ville Cap-Haïtien, deux religieuses ma chère sœur Anne-Marie Dorcelus qui c'est ma tante père Arnel Joseph, c'est dans cérémonie installation yo après aller Galette Chambon, et sœur Agnès Bordeaux qui c'est une française qui sorti dans congrégation sœur de la Providence de la Pommeraye. Et 3 membres et famille père Arnel Joseph été kidnappé ou libéré maman et depuis semaine passée madame Oxane Dorcelus mais au kembe sœurli mademoiselle Lovely Joseph au kembe parrainni monsieur Welder Joly jusqu'à présent juste dans moment d'entrer dans studio là pas rien nouveau d'après source nous capable faire confiance dans dossier ça c'est devant situation ça hiérarchie l'église catholique là mettez ensemble avec conférence religieuse et avec religieuses et décréter 3 journées mobilisation mais c'était hier bien tard nouvelle là t'est sorti et nous c'est institution l'église catholique qui pas fonctionner aujourd'hui il était précisé en ouétant l'hôpital accent de santé mais toute l'école de toute catégorie presbytérale et l'école congréganiste toute institution et université toute institution de l'église catholique tout fermé contrairement à la semaine passée côté l'église catholique a annoncé décision ça pour te faire une journée protestation à travers république là te gain appui secteur business privé mais nous pas connaître si c'est à cause et décision prend très en retard si c'est tout parce que pas de concertation à l'autre secteur même si au senti gagner une baisse dans circulation à cause pour l'école l'église catholique dans région Port-au-Prince dans représenté pour valer ti moun y a peine l'école par exemple dans toute l'école ça yo mais nous capable dire en étant ça l'autre activité yo te paraît normal journée jeudi mais comme nous connaissons question ça sont questions transversales et comme question insécurité kidnapping qui c'est parti qui pi terrible qui pi dégradant qui pi affreux dans ça qui concerne politique et public ça et de terroriser population et gens que nous là et après donc c'est transversal c'est comme si une politique publique qui doit toucher tout le monde et bien c'est ça question kidnapping insécurité a toucher tout le monde ou bien directement affecté ou bien ou touché de façon indirecte quel que soit mon ya pas gain aucun monde qui indemne et devant situation ça parce que nous connaît nous pas qu'à compter sur personne pas gain l'état nous gain l'état seulement pour venir jouer nous toute la sainte journée c'est pour ça journée je dis c'est expérience en affaire les moun nan gros poste c'est jouer catégorie sociale c'est régler après régler compte avec eux c'est menacer pour taper eux mais nous pas gagner service parce que ça qui fait ciment dans une société et l'état nation et bien c'est service l'état là pour le bail collectivité c'est soin li doit prendre de territoire li doit protéger quoi on dit dans langue blanc contre vent et marée quelle que soit la situation faut que li camper et l'état c'est s'allier faut qu'on protéger frontières à terre frontières en l'air frontières en mer faut que nous depuis mon cap dans territoire quitte son article natal quitte son étranger quitte son de passage il bénéficie de protection ça qui ça nous nous découvrir Bon, pas vle di ça parce que me connais grand pile policier qui de bonne foi, grand pile moi connais tout, moi connais faire sacrifice dans institution. Mais faut que tu reconnaisses son institution qui malade. Après, il était écrasé en 2004, l'Aristide était allé deuxième fois en exil là, eh bien, il écrasé encore. Son institution, par contre, côté pour moi, et journée jodi a, il y a un gros problème. Gagner de policiers qui honnêtes dans l'institution, mais policiers ça yo, c'est pas eux même qui commandé, c'est pas eux même qui gagne maître là dans mais tout gagner des policiers qui n'ont confiance là, des policiers qui travaillent pour gang. Et donc c'est une situation terrible. Nous découvrir situation ça journée jodi a qui frapper dans figure, qui bonne une belle soufflette, qui montre nous pas gain institution camper soigner. La justice c'est même bagaille. Combien fois nous ouais la justice sans que c'est pour une position partisan commissaire gouvernement prend pour le faire un président plaisir, il fait ça relève auto-saisine d'un dossier. Il y a des dossiers pas besoin de porter plainte, c'est l'action publique en mouvement parce que commissaire gouvernement pas qui ali représenter société a. Mais pas ça. Beaucoup n'a l'air été moun yo toujours comme manœuvre qui fait dossier mal monté ou façon pour moun toujours laguer. Ou bien pas rien ou bien si si pas yo t'a envoyé moun dans prison. Mettez oreilles en trompette, la privon Jean, il a fait le sauver dans prison, tant que Arnel Joseph t'est sauvé dernièrement avec un paquet l'autre. Donc nous devons un effondrement total de ça qui est l'institution. Je ne dis à toute institution qui c'est digue qui pour Québec pays et bien tout à terre. C'est devant situation ça nier. Ça c'est pas responsabilité seulement monde qui sous pouvoir journée jodi, mais monde qui sous pouvoir journée jodi n'a parlé de Jovenel Moïse avec équipe liant bandit légal qui prend pouvoir depuis 10 ans, yo même yo vinn mettre couche paille parce que c'est plusieurs années décennies de tergiversation, de irresponsabilité, de trahison, de coup de poing en dos et de timounerie et c'est tout ça yo de absence de vision qui vient ban nous ça n'a vivre journée jodi. Mais tête qu'elle pas besoin connaître la ka sorti lui-même tête li dans situation ça comme s'il pas gain responsabilité j'ai appelé dia ou était nous pays écrasé papa ou mourir quitter on ka écrasé pour ou gain deux bail pour faire ou bien ou craser ka la ou refaire ou bien ou ranger ka la ou pas ka venir rendre ni di all the ka la t'écraser.
You are listening to the Paris Heaven Radio, 90.1 FM, ParisHeavenRadio.com.